Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to another episode of McDonald Family 411. Please be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. We'll post all links to socials in the comments. And thank you guys for your continued support of the 411. We really appreciate it. Well, today we have a very special guest, Mr. Daniel Cowin of Cowin Construction in Pineville, Missouri. Along with being a successful business leader in our community, Daniel also serves as the newest president of the board of McDonald County Chamber of Commerce. Hello, Daniel, and thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, I kind of wanted to dive right in and start back to the roots of Cowin Construction, because I did a little chat GPT search, and what it told me is that the company was first formed in California, actually, in 1968, by Ken Cowin.
My father.
Okay, so tell me about your roots in California.
Well, I was born in California. We lived there until I was 8.
So you were 8.
We moved here when I was 8 to Rogers, Arkansas.
And what prompted that move?
We came back on vacation. My dad's grandmother was from Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Okay.
So we came on vacation, loved the area. My dad said, "This is where I want to raise my kids."
Yeah.
And so we moved 3 months later and sold everything.
And how was that?
There was a culture shock,
Yeah.
but I loved the area from the time we got here. So I embraced it. I liked people. I liked everything about it. The outdoors. I was all in.
Like you were meant to be here. So then, I know at some point you guys, moved over here in Pineville. So what prompted that move from mostly the Northwest Arkansas area? Is that correct?
I met this little girl that lived in Pineville, my wife.
And for those who don't know you, can you tell us her name and her name? Sherry from the Armstrongs.
Sure.
Everybody knows. So you guys did spend part of your marriage and raising your children in Northwest Arkansas, though, right?
We did in Garfield.
And then was it like kind of after the kiddos got through high school that she was like, I want to go back close to mom and dad? Or
no, we actually moved while they were in school.
what year was that when you migrated?
I think it was about 2015.
2015.
So we were, well, actually, before that, 2012 was about the time we've been here a little longer. It always seems.
It's hard for me, like, so 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
Going on. And I remember coming to that opening. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago. And you guys have done so much since then, too, which we'll get to. And so another thing Chat told me is that the main focus of the company is on roofing and heavy construction, which I think a lot of people know about. They did brag on you as with your relationship with Owens Corning as a platinum preferred contractor. It told me that you guys work in multiple states. But what I'm really fascinated about personally and is the still custom work that you guys do in copper fabrication. I know you dabble in historic restoration too. You were telling me a really good story earlier, and I want you to tell it for the people exactly how you got into copper fabrication. So can you kind of retell that story?
I was 12 working with my dad on a job site in Bella Vista. And some guys came to do a copper bay window. And I just got mesmerized. And so my dad was like, well, I know him. I'll talk to him. And he started dropping me off on rainy days and weekends. And I would help him. I did that until I was 18. When I was 18, ordered my equipment, started my first sheet metal shop. And my first job was for Jack Shoemaker. And I told Jack I was doing his roof. And he said, do you do sheet metal? And I said, I want to. I said, I don't have any equipment yet. He said, we'll bid on it. you get a job, then you can order your equipment. So guy pulls up one day for the job I'm working on and says, order your equipment.
Oh,
Keeps me out there about 6 months doing copper. 16,
right boy.
16 post caps at the front gate. Just all kinds of stuff.
Those two people do that, you know.
And so when about 6 months into it, he comes up one day and says, you know, I said, yes, sir. He said, do you have your equipment paid for? I said, yes, sir. I said, we're done. And so he believed in me.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great story. I love that. Well, another thing that I saw looking through your community work and involvement, and I was curious about this. It said you guys have participated in some extreme home makeover style projects.
I was project manager on 2 extreme makeovers. I was safety coordinator and project manager. And I was featured for my copper work. I did the Hope Beacon. It's a light designed with amber glass. It's never shut off. Doesn't have a switch. And that was for the morning there. Her daughter was abducted. Safe liver turns off.
So, the Morgan Nick, is that who inspired the Amber art?
Yes.
How did you get involved with that?
I was the president of the home builders in Northwest Arkansas that year. Extreme Makeover approached us. And so we decided to do a different quiz. We decided to do it as a team. So we had 6 builders.
Cool.
And we had 6 project managers. So we were the first ones to do it that way, where it wasn't just one builder.
And was there not ever too cooks in the kitchen and everything?
Well, we just chopped the house up. Snaps.
Yeah. So it wasn't hard to say. We stayed in their line.
Yeah.
So, what was that experience like? Like, was that just, because how many days do you actually complete the house in? Is it like
5 days, 9 hours. 5 days, 9 hours.
What do you sleep on? Do you sleep at all during those
Everyone else slept. I slept 5 hours in 5 days and 9 hours. They said I stayed up longer than anyone in 34 builds. So I don't sleep a lot anyways.
Yeah.
About 3 hours a night.
Are people just like constantly just working around the clock on those shows? Do they bring like other shifts in? I mean, break people for cruising. Yeah, other crews for every
And you have about 400 volunteers on it at any given time. So, you know, they give you a different colored shirt than everyone else. In our case, the volunteers had blue shirts. We had yellow shirts. And we all talked about later how 5 minutes into it, we went through those yellow shirts. There was constant questions.
Oh, yeah.
What do I do that on the yellow shirt? Oh, yeah.
On my first, yeah.
And it's just a heightened, normal constructions have stress.
What to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But when you get in a situation like that, the stress level just goes.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's what fascinates me is just I know like how the normal like stressors of construction comes in for thinking like pure chaos, but also the fact of it being a TV set or production set fascinates me too. So I was just wondering about that because.
So my second one was 60 days later. And on the way, I thought if I lost my mind, because normally you don't know anything about it. I'm not sure that.
You have to commit with that, like knowing the whole situation.
Yeah. I mean, you're a little bit, once you get into it, then you realize I've done this to myself.
Yeah.
But going to the second one 60 days later, because you know what it's going to be.
Yeah. Putting yourself in a situation where you have a amount of time to make something happen.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wanted to go through a few questions. What's something you have done or currently doing for the community that the public doesn't know about you.
I'm always doing something for the community. It's where my heart is. You know, little things like somebody said to me, why did you put your business in the city of Pineville? I said, because I wanted to pay tax. I intentionally moved here on a piece of property where I could pay taxes to the city because, I'm on the fire board, elected. I'm on the chamber, obviously. I mean, I'm in a lot of different
to deep like that. I mean, no better way to show you're putting a stake in the community by putting business there or joining boards of important, groups and organizations.
So everywhere I go, I see things and and it's hard because our latest one was the archery program for at-risk children. And
yes,
for some kind of size.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that because you mentioned that to me the other day, and I was super intrigued because my heart's always with the kiddos, and I love when communities and organizations combine a physical activity with a charity event. Archery, I love that. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So it's designed to help at-risk youth. So we'll do 2 events a year. Joelle Bates, she's won the world champion 13 times with archery.
Wow.
And she'll be there to instruct the children. She's already been coming to our range on my farm. And she's, just a wonderful person. But we just wanted to give back. Once we do the 2 events, get them interested in archery, then we're going to turn it over to the school program. And we're working with school to do that. Somebody has to give those children a different way out and get some consistency. And I believe that archery is one of those things that teaches you those things.
I love what you're doing. So keep going. All right. So this was one I met. If you could change one thing about your brand, what would you change? I.e., how the public sees you or the company, or would you not change anything?
I think sometimes when you do a lot of upper end stuff that people don't realize that you're willing to do any size job or any type of job. I mean, we love the high end jobs, but the normal stuff's our bread and butter. And a lot of people are like, oh, they do that. But, I don't know if they'll want to do anything at my house, but we do. We love to repair roofs. We love to do just normal houses. I love to take a house that's a little bit run down and get them back at par.
Well, I think that's a great answer. And I know you guys work really closely with a lot of insurances. I was reading too, you guys are really good about that, about helping the customer through the insurance process, which for us average people, we hate dealing with insurance companies. So you guys kind of talk a little bit about that slightly.
I think when you're dealing with insurance, what you have to understand is most states, they pay for more than they owe. And so really my dealings is I have to deal with both parties and kind of makes you understand what you actually pay for in that policy. To where you don't think because you hear all the time, oh, you're getting taken advantage of, and we have to worry about those things in this day and age. But, you're calling a 1-800 number instead of a lot of times the agent dealing with you anymore. And so you don't know what to do. You don't know what you really owe for. And so a lot of companies won't come in and say, oh, they owe more. They should do this. They should do that. And that's not always the case. You have to look at it objectively and say, what's really fair because you were on the other side of the check.
Yeah.
And both parties you have to watch out for them.
Yes, you do. Yeah. And I love that you are there to kind of help.
I've actually thought about doing pamphlets because I think a lot of people just don't understand.
Into a little more personal about your family history. You have some really cool information about your family genealogy that you've been able to, over the years, track. Tell us a little bit about how you got into the whole genealogy researching.
So I had to do a little bit of research, found out my fourth great grandfather, Bob was Sam Houston, and was a I was a Texas Ranger in 1836, a boy with friends, a big rocket. I was telling this retired Texas game warden, and he said, "You have to join the Sons of the Republic of Texas." So I promised him I would. So I joined, and those people taught me really how to research language and how to really get down to the details, because they do a lot of it. And so I ended up on the former Texas Ranger Association, because any family member can join, show proof of your lineage. And so I just started researching and found out I was related to 35 U.S. presidents.
Wow.
Just a lot of things I didn't know.
Are you passing on to your children, or are they interested, or they have whatever?
They're interested.
Yeah.
And, I've done my family tree and, can trace back, like Robert the Bruce was one of my 18th great grandfather, the Scottish king. And so once you get one of those, it becomes really easy because they have such good records.
Yeah.
And, like, I have 3 senators on the declaration, but that's from my relatives. And I think, where are we going to be in 10 years? So what did my family sacrifice through the years for this country to be great? And so I want this country to be great. I want our county to be great. I want our cities to be great.
Ask you a 10-year question, because you just said it, 10 years. In 10 years, what do you hope is different? Are you still working?
I'll still be working. I'll work until I die. As long as my health will let me, I'll be working.
And are you growing the company? Just do we have another generation coming up?
I see myself just like my dad's role today, helping. He helps me every day and shows up every day and helps me. Doesn't want to retire. Doesn't want to, just wants to help his family. And that's what we're really about, is helping the people in the community, helping our family. My daughter and mother had a dinner with 15 of us every night, so we all eat dinner together.
That's wonderful, people. Let's flip that to the community side, because you are right now doing some really cool things. And I know that's one of your conscious efforts, is just digging in and really rooting yourself into, immersing yourself into McDonald community. In 10 years, what's your hopes for McDonald Cowin?
I want our core values to stay intact.
How do you think? I
think one person at a time. I think each person has to get up and do the right thing every morning. And if we do that, it's one person at a time. Nick Chesterton wrote, "I am." And so every morning when I get up and I say, "What's wrong with McDonald County?" I think, "I am." If I don't get up and do what's right and treat people right and act right, it's one person at a time. And I think it's each one of us asking ourselves that question, keeping our community safe, keeping our community intact for our core values and what we believe. It should be the most important thing we do.
Do you see a way to grow in certain areas and maintain those core values?
I think showing up to vote, I'm involved politically where I think I need to be, but I think showing up and voting at each election, I think supporting our community, not just with what we say, but what we can give, what we can do to stand in the gap. And I think when we do those things, I think that God blesses us. I think He'll bless us as a community.
I do too. And I love what you just said, stand in the gap. That was a perfect note to end on. You got to stand the gap. That's what you got to do. So I love that. Well, thank you so much for sitting and chatting with me today. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank you too for everything you're doing in the community. It's been a real pleasure today. Thank you very much. And for you guys, we'll see you next time on another episode of McDonald County 411. I'm Tara Rubeck, your host with the most 411. Goodbye and good luck.